Spurs of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast.
America.
And hosted on our very own YouTube channel, live on a beautiful Friday afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you may be tuning in from. Hosted, as always, by Michael and Jacob. And Jacob, it's about that time, my friend. The World Cup is almost upon us. Spurs won their last game heading into this, international break, the World Cup break. 4-3 over Leeds United at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Rodrigo Bentancur with another brace for Tottenham and another great performance as well. Well, first off, man, how are you doing? We have a very special guest as well joining us today for our World Cup talk, a little bit of Spurs as well, but mainly, it's going to be about the World Cup, man. It's honestly an exciting time right now for football fans around the world. Everyone's coming together right now. I think the hype is starting to build up a little bit more. It's not as exciting, I will admit, as past World Cups, just because it is in the middle of the season. It's in Qatar as well, not a big footballing nation at all. So, but regardless, man, Jack's joining us today from Flat Cap and Irish Hotspur. We have a very
and America. He's joining us from America.
And America.
USA, red, white, and blue, baby.
USA.
Oh, man.
How are you doing, man? How are you?
I'm doing great. Like I always say, Michael, when I'm joined by you, straight off the top of the show, that's going to be a good fucking show, in my opinion. I don't care if we're not even 10 minutes in. YouTube can't stop me. Patreon can't stop. No one can stop me. I'm fucking excited. USA World Cup. There's nothing like it. Even when USA ain't in it, I'm still excited about it. It's a wonderful time of the, quad year, every 4 years. There's a lot of back story about the location, about the making of these stadiums, the human rights or the lack thereof going into, and all that is one side of it. But you know me, Michael, I like to focus on the fun side, the part that speaks to my heart the most. And it's just, I think, the joy of the game, watching the world's best players all gather and play in a tournament. I mean, in any sport, that's always going to be a grand feature. But when it's the world's greatest sport ever, I mean, come on. How can you not be excited? I'm fucking thrilled. I'm also really thrilled to be joined with you today, Michael, and join none other than Jack, Flat Cap, Eurotalk, and Irish Hotspur. How you doing, buddy?
Breathing that American air, aren't we, boys? Before this,
not real good for the lungs, but breathe it in, buddy.
I have to come out right away, though, and kind of say, like, I am a bit of a bad Yank, or I am a bit of a bad American fan, and that never really been the biggest U.S. men's national team fan, so I can't get on the hype train as much as you guys can. But I'd love to be in your passenger car. I'd love to be in the coach seats, and sort
jump
of
on in.
At least be maybe in the background, kind of hype train, because I can't just jump on it and just say that I follow the US team or that I've really rooted for them very hard in the past or anything, but it is good to be here. It is good to kind of also find ourselves, I think, alongside kind of our neighbors as well at the same time, right? Mexico and Canada is kind of fun to see how we all do. I am kind of have a soft spot for Mexico. They are my favorite of the two neighbors that we have, and I think
I have a connection
I'm looking
to
forward
Mexico,
to this one.
so I would agree.
I am a bit of a weirdo,
though.
I'm a bit of a weirdo, though, with the World Cup, where I do kind of follow, I feel like, more players than anything kind of throughout it. So this time around, I'm actually going to be following the likes of Croatia and Serbia, because I have 43 different itches to keep track of.
You got to scratch that itch.
Hell yeah.
Got to scratch the itch, and I have 43 to keep track of throughout this time period. So when I do my World Cup predictions video, who knows, could be 3 hour long. Just itch special, pretty much. Just
right.
Biographies, the whole lot.
Let's get into some comments here. Chris is joining us today. Big up, guys. Big up yourself, man. Big up yourself. Ben Kaufman. United Spurs of Traore, not in the Spanish national team. Let's just remind Jacob real quick.
And they're not going to make it out of the group because of that. Let's just say that straight up. They don't want to pick Traore. That's their fault.
Alexander says it's coming home. Plus Dan's Nan winning Golden Boot. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Jamie's joining us. COYS.
Big up, Jamie. Newest member of the Patreon, which, before we go any further, let me say thank you so much to our members
Always.
of the Patreon channel, the Soggy Undies Club, Alan, 10-inch Sibley. Don't know if you're here yet, buddy, but big up yourself. And Reyes Jr., big up yourself, my friend. 10-inch Club, we got Goguma, Queen Ellie with Tottenham Till I Die, or THFC Till I Die, excuse me, and C. Shearman, part of that 10-inch club. And the official supporters, Scott M., James George, J. Co., David, Aaron Dub, Jack Kanicki, and Jamie. I need to add that, Jamie. That's my fault. Bad producer. I'm sorry. Lovers Lane Group. We got Bobby K, Gina Kim, Tom Markinen, and C Cubed. Big up yourselves. If you want to become a Patreon member, I will put the link in the chat and we can move on with the show. Or you could just, this is a good time to hit the like, hit that subscribe. We're 7 away from 400.
Oh, boys.
It's only 7. Only 7.
7. You got everyone in here watching right now. You could tell one family member to go subscribe, and we would break this hoe right now.
And a 4 looks a
Pulling it
lot
up on
better
my
than
second
a 3.
monitor.
A 4 is like a nice looking number. I feel like Dave and I talk about that all the time. Like,
I do like
5s
4.
look better than 6s, but 4s look better than 5s. So get to the 4. Come on, boys. Let's go.
Come on, boys. Well, there it is. You have it. The link is in the chat. I have pinned it to the top, so you can check it out there. But pick up everyone. I just want to say I'm thankful for everyone on your name. I'm just going to let that thing scroll on the bottom there because I appreciate you all so much. What's up, David Clark from the center of England and Leicester City? Big up yourself, my friend. Let's go, Canada, North America's team.
Not even making it out of the group, man. Not even making it out of the group. Sorry.
I will say
Sorry, Scott.
Canada might be the sweetest of the 3.
Yeah.
Because
I'll
of
say that they have
maple
upset potential
syrup that they
because
got.
they're not bad. I'm not saying they're bad, but I still don't think they're making.
I think if like Alfonso
Alfonso,
Davies
bro,
goes into
he's
this
hurt.
one, like if he goes
Isn't
into
he
this
hurt?
one like that's what I was gonna say. He's had a shaky sort of injury history this past year. So
Yeah.
if
He hasn't
is
really
not,
played for Bayern at all.
if he's not feeling 100% going into this one, that's a major loss for them because that guy basically plays like a number 10 striker.
He's
like,
everywhere.
Every
He's
He's
everywhere.
like an Adama Traore.
He is
He can
filthy
play all
for
over
them.
the
He
pitch.
is pretty filthy for them. Like he's very saucy for them. So if they don't have 100% fit Fonzo, that's sad news. That
A
would be
fit
sad.
Fonz is what you want because he's a
what
remarkable
everybody wants.
player.
That's what everybody wants.
Evening, folks. All Spurs exit first round / don't care should be 100%. The poll says Patty Hartnett. Big up, Patty. Hope you're doing well. Who are you going for in the World Cup, Patty? I know Ireland's not in it, but
Thanks for that reminder, Jacob.
no, and like Sweden, dude, bro. There's some really good countries that actually didn't make it.
Yeah.
No, Colombia,
Italy,
I
Sweden,
believe.
Colombia.
Colombia, Venezuela, they didn't make it either.
Yeah.
No Scotland.
No Scotland.
David Clark, yes, thank you. Your Commanders beat the unbeaten Eagles. They are no longer undefeated, so thank you.
Big up,
I'm a
David
Cowboys
Clark,
fan.
and your Washington Commanders.
How's it going, Ian?
Big up, Ian.
Big up Ian. Love Ian.
Adrian's in the house. Good evening, all. Good evening to
evening.
you. Good evening to
evening,
you.
Big up Adrian.
Adrian.
Legend.
Jacob did drop it in the chat, the link to the Patreon account. And like he said, we're only 7 subscribers away from 400. So if you are joining us today and are not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Help us to our journey. We're trying to get to 400 by the end of the stream. That's what I told Jacob. I said, I feel it today. I think we're going to do it.
You did. You did say that. I was like, bro, because I woke up this morning, and YouTube's been pushing out the shorts thing. They want people to upload shorts, so I just kind of upload some training videos.
You've been going in,
bro. People have been liking some. I guess it's the Brazil team. I don't know, but Richarlison and Brazil team, those shorts been helping out. We've got some new subscribers from some of them shorts, so big up yourselves if you're, or should I say, obrigado, obrigado.
Yeah.
To the new subscribers.
bon dia.
Bon dia.
That is.
We'll work on our
good morning.
Portuguese here.
Yeah, that's good.
Portuguese is a little tricky, right? Because you
shout
don't
out-
treat it like Spanish. That's the
No, it's
mistake.
different.
Is that
A
you
little
have
different.
you have to just sort of listen to how they pronounce. It's the Spanish
they call it?
spelling.
Dialect?
the
It's a
same
different
spelling.
dialect?
It's the same spelling for everything, but the pronunciation is like. I sort of
And the
joke
word
around. I
order,
almost think
yeah.
it's like as if the spelling is the same, but it's like a Russian guy like trying to pronounce it or like something like that. It's like very like. It's just the pronunciation is the complete different. Yeah, it's very interesting. I like Portuguese. Sorry.
I like Portuguese too, honestly. I had a very dumb moment. Here's an admittance of mine. I think I was like 16 or 17 in high school, and someone was telling me they were from Brazil, and I was like, "Oh, do you speak Brazilian?" And it was,
Yeah,
I mean,
it happens to us.
I was a teenager, and they don't, in America, they don't teach culture and geography the greatest, I would say, because of our rough patched history of just overall genocide of the natives, etc. But you know what? Whenever I found out it was Portuguese, I was very curious. Like, why does Brazil speak Portuguese?
And the Brazilian Portuguese sounds very different from Jose's.
Portuguese.
Like Jose sounds very different, like Jose Mourinho, than like Richarlison does. Like their Portuguese is like very different from each other's. Like Jose, like I said, kind of more or less sounds like a Russian guy. I think sounding out Spanish words, and then like Richarlison is a bit more of like what you think Portuguese would actually sound like, which is actually funny. Like Portugal or Portuguese from Portugal does not sound like what you think it does, whereas like Portuguese from Brazil sounds like what you think it would sound like, if that makes any sense at all.
It does, and I just know I'm the worst to talk about any kind of dialect or geography or anything of the sort, but I do want to say big up Goguma. Good morning, United Spurs,
Good morning.
Michael, Jacob, and Jack. Big up.
Like I said, good morning, wherever you may be tuning in from. You
Good
never
morning. I'm also going to say big up because we're going to talk about the groups and who we think is going to make it out the group stages a little bit later on.
Yep.
Goguma, I don't think you're going to like what Michael has to say, but
sorry.
don't worry. I hold it down. I'll hold it down for us. So just know I got your back. Big up yourself, Goguma. Thanks for being here. Richarlison steak, looking good and fine. I would say he's looking medium rare right now. He's about ready to go. Some of the training videos, he's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. We'll get into a little more later on because I know there's so much I want to get into, but we're only like 13 minutes in, so don't want to, what's the euphemism?
Get ahead of yourself.
Yeah. We'll say that then. Big up, Patty. You can still go for the States, buddy. We'll welcome you. We also will welcome you with open arms. You can support the red, white, and blue. How do you do? Join us as we go through the World Cup like some butter, some nice, soft, warm butter. Wales,
American butter.
I say, okay, do we just want to jump right into it? Because Patty Hartnett his comment got me ready to go about.
You ready?
Because he says Wales is his next choice.
All
so
right.
I do want to start with, I think, the most important group to me personally and to maybe a lot of others, which would be Group B. So are you cool? We do Group B and then we do A, C, D, etc.
Sure, let's do it.
All right. I'm going to make this real easy and make everyone feel real comfortable that, they're not going to have to worry about Eric Dyer getting hurt and we don't have Eric Dyer the rest of the season or Harry Kane. They ain't making it out the group. First and foremost, England is not making it out the group. Topping the group, red, white, and blue. Like I said, how do you do? We will be the ones to go through red, white, and blue. The stars and the stripes, man. Come on, baby. It's time to jump on the crazy train because we are at least getting out the group, I think. I really, truly believe USA is making it out the group. England will not. Second place will be Wales. Gareth Bale, you cannot stop him, whether he's in England or he's in America or he's in Spain. It doesn't matter where this man plays. You can't stop him. He's not done till Gareth Bale says he's done. He'll go golf when he says he wants to go golf. No one tells him when tee times are. So who I have coming out of that group.
He almost develops superpowers during these tournaments, I would say, as well. Gareth Bale just turns into a
or during the extra time of an MLS Cup. When you need him the most, Gareth Bale will shine. So I do say USA's making it out. Wales is making it out.
Wow.
England's going to be fighting Iran for that third place.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about you, Jack?
That's pretty glorious. Red,
white, and blue.
I'm going to say... Do what's really funny? The geopolitical history of this group is absolutely hilarious. I must say the fact that they all have a very tricky history with each other, all these sort of groups. Or it's not with each other. It's actually all, well, USA, I guess, with Iran, you would say. But with England in particular, they all have a very funny history with England, each of these groups, with each of these names. It was almost meant to be. I'm going to say England do top the group just so I don't look ridiculous. But moon boots in the fridge, if they play those two together, I mean, it's up to anybody. I think Iran, though, I would say the reason why I'm not going to, I think they finished last. I think there's a certain guy, Sardar Azmoun, who plays for Leverkusen. I'm a big fan of his, very hipster player of mine that I do follow. But I don't think he's actually included in the group for included in Iran's team for kind of political reasons, maybe, because I think he made a certain social media post against the regime. And then USA, I think that gives them a better chance. If Iran's team is weakened, basically losing their best player, which is Azmoun, I haven't checked, but I don't think he's been called up. So I would say they basically lost one of their best players. So I think it might be England, USA, Wales, Iran. But my thing with the USA, just quickly, you guys know better than I do, but I think we always have a good team. Isn't it the coaching that always lets us down?
If we do not make it out of the group, I think it'll be because of the coaching.
Yeah. So, and this is coming from, like I said, a very uninformed, sort of USA fan of this, and a bad USA fan, a very shameless fan. So, or shameful, should I say? So, I don't know. I think if anything, it seems like we have a better team than Wales. Dare I say it? I think we do have a better team than Wales, but I think the coaching will probably let us down, maybe more so than in Wales.
Well, yeah,
because with a team like Wales have been in the Euros, they've been in big tournaments before. They have a bit more, I don't know, experience than, let's say, we do.
Here's the thing.
But I'm still going to put a second, like I said, just a caveat. Still putting a second.
USA, Jack. All right. And it's okay if right now there's a bunch of Americans, and I understand why you don't want to get in the pool or get in the car, whatever way you want to look at this. I'm 2 feet in. I was a little wavered when USA didn't pick America's true striker, America's #1 striker, which is Ricardo Pepi, El Chuco's finest.
Yeah, I heard about Pepe not getting picked again. That sounded like a shocker.
He literally saved Greg Berhalter, who's the American version of Southgate. For all of you who don't know who Greg Berhalter is, just think Southgate, but American.
So that's why I've heard. So again, I'm a very bad Yank, but this is what all I've heard. So I feel like that's what's letting it down here. If we had a good coach, I'd feel like I'd put us at first. Like you said, if we had a good coach, I put us at first. I think we'd have a chance to take over England, but it seems like we're going to get let down by the team selection. We're going to get let down by a certain few things by the coach here.
Have you ever seen the movie Kill Bill? Or most movies.
Is that a Clint Eastwood movie? Is that, wait a minute, let me check.
Tarantino.
Yeah,
Tarantino classic.
Let me look at the cover of it, but yeah, continue.
There's this noise that plays when she's the woman, the main character in Kill Bill, when she hypothetically is seeing red. And it's this sound that plays, this neat, 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 dun, 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 dun. Anyway, it's fantastic. But when USA qualified, that's all I've been hearing. All I've been seeing is red, white, and blue. That's all I can think about. We have Cameron Carter-Vickers, okay? Some say the American Eric Dyer. I say Eric Dyer is actually going to be our leading goal scorer for America if he plays. He's going to have the most goal contributions for Wales, Spain, and Iran.
Carter Vickers is getting a lot of playing time with Celtic, which is all you're looking for, right? And he's going into it, let's say, kind of in good form for the most part. He's
a big lad. So I think it's going to be fun, and I thought that Leeds game was fun to end on. Because we got to see Harry Kane versus Tyler Adams. We got to see some of these, like Brendan Aronson. Paxton's his younger brother who actually just signed for Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yep.
So big ups, the Aronsons, putting America out there. American soccer. I'm going to say soccer for this World Cup. You know what? Should I?
Yeah, it's called soccer.
I was watching this thing on Netflix.
I think when we win it, it becomes soccer. I think it's
soccer worldwide.
I saw it
before that. Until that happens, I think I'll continue to call it football. But I think when we win it, happily call it soccer. Funny enough, though, I think in Ireland, a lot of them call it soccer as well. But
see, England actually,
if Ireland or the USA win it, I think it officially becomes the S word.
What I think is, I saw this tweet and it was hilarious, and I really hope it happens. And there's Christian Pulisic, when he scored the game winner, I think to either qualify or what was it for the Gold Cup, he held up his shirt and he had a message. And I want him to do that same thing when he hits the game winner versus England next week. It's a week from now. We play in England. We'll be playing in England in 1 week from now. I want him to hit the game winner, lift his shirt up, and say, "It's called soccer." That would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So, Jack, I'm sorry. I was listening to what you were saying about who you were picking, but all I could see was USA.
I already gave my picks. No, I already get. Yeah, it's just England, USA, Wales, Iran. I enjoy as like a bit of a a fan of very specific players and whatnot. I feel like I know a few players on that Iranian team, and I'm like I said, I could look it up right now if I were not so lazy, but I'm almost positive that one of their best players, if not their best player, is actually left out of the Iranian team.
Because of political things.
Yeah, I think he made a certain post against the regime and whatnot. So,
tough times.
What happens when you go to Germany? You get a little bit politically free, let's say.
For the first time ever.
you get a bit. I guess he's risked it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'll shut up now. But yeah, I guess Sardar Azman, their best player, basically.
I'm gonna have to look him up. I never heard of him. Who do you say he plays for?
Plays for Bayer Leverkusen. Originally, he played for Zenit, that Russian team, and then he moved from Zenit to Bayer Leverkusen. He's actually quite good. He's actually the guy, had we not gone for Richarlison, a certain striker that I thought maybe would have been not a bad backup for Harry Kane, actually.
I like Frimpong from Leverkusen, right?
Yeah.
Jeremy
I like-
Frimpong.
I like that Frimpong guy. He's young, he's talented, super fast. Michael, did you make your picks?
Not yet, my friend. Not yet.
Let's hear it. Come on, don't give me anything less than USA.
Biased, USA, England, Wales, Iran. Non-biased, which will be my on the record pick, is England, USA, Wales, Iran. I think England win every game in the group stage, and I think USA win every game except for the one that they play England. I think Harry Kane's going to go off this World Cup, man. I really do. I just have a feeling.
He's in form.
But I do think that the U.S. are going to be decent. I do think that they're going to play decently well in this World Cup, just because they have a real sense of togetherness this year. I think the camaraderie is really high right now, according to rumors in the dressing room. So we'll see how it goes, man. I think it's like I said before anyone gave their predictions. Jack already mentioned it. If there's going to be any downfall to the United States in the group stage, especially early on, I think right now my expectation is get out of the group stage, and then, hey, maybe we can get a game or two in the knockouts. But if we fail to get out of the group, it's going to be because of Bearhalter or something, or management. It's just going to be something, man, that's going to be preventative for us to be successful. But it's up to the players also. It's not all up to the coaching, but I do think to a certain degree, I think Pulisic is going to go off. I think you're going to see players like Tyler Adams have a really, really good World Cup. Some of these guys are really mature since the last time they failed to qualify, frankly, for the last World Cup. They've matured a lot. I think that they've grown a lot as well, and they've learned a lot of lessons. Remember, this is a team that's coming off of a few trophies, and they did beat Mexico a few times as well.
Yeah.
Going into this World Cup now group stage, so we'll see. We'll see if they execute. But right now, I just don't think it's enough to beat England.
Where are we strongest, boys, and then where are we weakest for the USA team? Like,
Okay,
what,
well,
is it the defense? Is it the defense that's the weakest? Is it the midfield that's the weakest? The keeper, perhaps, or is it the
Well, yeah, Matt Turner
attack?
better not
Where
fucking
are
play.
we
He's
weakest
dog
and
water.
strongest?
If Matt Turner plays, we're fucked because he's ass. He plays for Arsenal.
Hasn't Zach Steffen not been called up or something? Or
No, he's not.
He got left behind.
They called up Luton Town's keeper.
So we're lacking a strong keeper, I guess.
I would say our weakest is probably our center backs. I would say the whole back line, really. I don't have much faith in Sergino Dest, unfortunately. I don't think
I don't. Defensively, absolutely not.
I think he can
I think
bang
I would
it.
agree as well.
He has a nice goal in him at a time. Every now and like 4 games, he'll have a nice goal in him, but I don't think defensively he's solid. And Yedlin to back him up, I don't know if that's I don't know.
I almost went to the same high school as him, actually, Yedlin.
Oh, really? In Seattle?
Grew up
Nice.
near me. No, he grew up near me in Seattle.
He's a nice guy. Really misunderstood. Real quick, before we keep going, I do want to show this. This is why I think I feel pretty good. It's 81 degrees, and this is England's team. And 81 degrees. Bro, you act like you're at fucking Wet and Wild Six Flags, Texas in the middle of summer.
I know, dude.
And it's 115. They're like, please let me get some of that. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is 81, dog. 81. Give me the Powerade. Let me get some more wet, fam, bro. Help me.
All these guys are used to playing in chilly conditions.
It's the one thing the Yanks have on them is that we are built different that way. Like we just I mean, even the coldest places of like the USA like have hotter summers than England and Ireland and those countries. Like even like Minnesota of all places has like hotter summers. and that place gets like 40 inches of snow in the winter. Like they're buried in snow, and it still gets hotter there. Like they know what a hot summer still is. Like even Alaskans, I think Alaskans are the only people that can really relate to like England when it comes to summers, maybe, because I think that's where it's probably around the same temperature. But yeah, I think we are built different that way, that's for sure. You would actually say also maybe even Korea too, like since I do see Gogama in the chat, they're definitely also built different that way. They could definitely handle the heat and the humidity. And actually though, since it's in the Middle East, it's not humidity, it's more dry heat, right? So
yeah,
the Texans, get as many Texans on the plane as you can.
Get
as many Texans on the plane as you can. Dry heat. But yeah, I don't know. Like
Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada,
that's embarrassing. 81
Southern
degrees.
California.
81 degrees is my favorite temperature, actually. I must say that's like
I like that 79.
That's nice. That's nice. Like
I don't like
the nice
70s.
sweat, but it's not like too
70s
much.
is cold. When you get used to it, 70s becomes cold. I think like 81 is like, oh, gorgeous. 81 is gorgeous. Such a gorgeous temperature.
They all look like they were about to die. That shit had me laughing so hard. Y'all are fucked. England ain't making it out the group. Look at you, bunch of bums, weak ass.
How many
mentality.
stadiums
And then you
are
wonder why
enclosed?
Eric
Are there
Dyer
any
gets selected.
stadiums enclosed?
I'm sorry. No, I don't think so. They all have a crack in them. At least there might be. I don't know. I've been only watching like the documentaries that are like unseating the truth
I know
of Qatar.
there's one that is there's an opening on
All of them, I think. All the
See, this is what I'm
them.
saying. Like,
Yeah,
I think
all of
Riemann's
them.
son in the chat, 69 is his sweet spot. I agree. I think like a normal person would say that. This is the
Stadiums are
thing. Like
pretty
the
nice.
Americans, I don't think would say that. Like, I think like 69 is cold.
So that's a
It's
little
cold.
chilly.
That's
It's a
like
little
chilly. Yeah,
A little chilly.
81, like Jacob. The moment you said 81, I'm like, oh, that sounds lovely.
Ooh, that sounds like Southern
lovely.
California in the middle
I
of
would go
summer.
on an 8-mile run in 81 degrees. That sounds lovely. Like that's compared to.
And these guys
I'll
are
trade 39 degrees for 81.
Should I pull it back up, Michael? Should we watch it again? These
Go
guys
ahead.
are fucking
it looked
hilarious.
nice. It genuinely looked nice. It just,
Like
yeah.
it looked like a beautiful day. They're dying. Come on.
It is. Yeah,
They're
no, that's
full-
not good. That's not good.
That's not a good sign. Look at Callum Wilson. He's like, damn, I got called up to this shit. Look at you. Give me some of that. Oh, spray it on me, Trent. He needs some too. Oh, Ben Shite.
Ben
Let me
White.
get some of that. He likes a
Yeah,
wet
Ben
fart in his
Scheidt's not
face.
looking very good there. He's not looking good.
Look at Powerade.
Cody.
Bro, he is
Not even
struggling.
Love Island could prepare him for these temperatures. Poor Ben Scheidt. It's ridiculous.
This is
Rieman's son's from Chicago. I mean, dude, you know what a hot summer is like. I mean, you know what a cold winter is like, though. True, you know both extremes. This is what I'm saying, though. I feel like the Americans are built different. But I mean, 69, if that's your sweet spot, there you go. But I think 81 is mine. That's literally my sweet spot. I think I stand by an 81.
80's
I love
nice.
an 81.
Look,
I would say
Daniel Larson.
70 or 75, but 80 is nice too.
Big up Daniel Larson says, now I'm glad Norway's not there. The players would drop dead.
The only way to hurt Holland.
There you go. Yeah.
Bring the heat.
Hey, think about next summer. They're going to be playing in North America, like all over Canada, Mexico, America. So I think we got a good chance next World Cup as well, because it'll be in the summer. And a lot of those places that they're playing can get hot. So, and hey, if Holland's able to go next time, That's what worries me a little bit about some of these teams is like Mohamed Salah. He's not going to be playing in the World Cup. I guess Kulusevski for us isn't going to be playing in the World Cup, and so it's like these key players for certain teams. They're not playing in the World Cup, so they kind of have a little bit of a chance to chill out.
Yeah, like Emerson, right? Yeah.
Oh, he was at Disney World. He went to Paris with his girl, and they're at Disney World. That's what they've been up to. He hasn't been hitting the training.
You follow him on Instagram as well?
Him and his girl, just to see what they're up to.
Me too.
Nice. Yeah, and they were at Disney World. They looked like they had it was like a whole weekend, like 4-day trip.
From Disney World to Paris, yeah, impressive.
No, I think Disney World in Paris. There's one in there, right?
Yeah, there's a Disney World in Paris.
That's stupid.
That's where I think they were, because they were walking around with their little Mickey ears and looking there, having a good time.
That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird that there'd be a Disney World in Paris, I think. I feel like of all the cities.
Real quick, before we get into the Group A predictions, we are at 394 subscribers now, so we're only 6 away from 400. Go. Thank you guys so much, whoever did subscribe today. And if you haven't already, and you're tuned in right now, the least you could do, if you enjoy our content, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We're on the way to 400, and like I said, we are now only 6 subscribers away. So thank you guys so much for all the support. Since we first started this podcast, when we first started live streaming, when we first started live streaming on this channel, you guys have been absolutely incredible. Thank you guys so much for the support as well from me, Jacob. This has been an incredible journey, and we're glad to share it with all of you. So thank you guys so much, and like I said, if you haven't already, hit that like and hit that subscribe button. All right, boys, if you don't mind, I guess I'll start off with the predictions for Group A. I'm going to say, the Netherlands, they missed out on the last World Cup. They weren't in the World Cup in Russia in 2018. This is Virgil van Dijk's first World Cup. A lot of guys in this squad's first World Cup. They have a lot of youth in this squad this year, which is pretty exciting. I think they're the most dangerous team in this group. I think they're the deepest and strongest team in this group. Remember, guys, everyone's getting 5 subs. It's going to be a much different style of World Cup. So I think the depth is just going to get the best of the rest of these countries. I think Senegal, despite not having reports came out today that Sadio Mane will not be playing in this World Cup. He initially got called up. There was a hope that he would recover from his injury in the last game that he played for at Bayern. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to recover in time. He's ruled out of the World Cup, but I do think despite him being out, I think they still have a strong enough squad. Remember, this is a team that won AFCON, in this last tournament. They're a strong team. They're decently deep for an African team as well. I think that's the one thing about a lot of these African teams in this World Cup is their depth isn't as strong as the European teams, but I do think they have a strong enough squad. I think they're going to get second place, followed by Ecuador. I just think they're going to struggle in this World Cup, and then Qatar, they're dog shit. There's not much else to say about them. What about you? Jack?
Well, Qatar are already off to a good start by reports of perhaps paying off the Ecuador team. So if those bribes are successful, I could see them landing a 3rd or 2nd spot. If the bribes are unsuccessful, I agree with you. They're definitely landing dead last. If football ends up being fair and all balanced and all those good things that we take pride in, I do imagine Netherlands cleaning up. Maybe the Netherlands player to look out for, that Cody Gakpo kid. I think
he's playing incredible this season. He's playing incredible right now.
Incredible for 2.5 seasons is how I see it. That dude is an absolute I think he's
baller.
Steven Berg, just much better than Steven Bergwijn. I've always thought that if Spurs were to just get rid of Bergwijn, they could have just replaced him with Gakpo, and we would have been very happy with a much better Dutch left winger, because I think he's exactly kind of what even Richarlison sort of is. He's actually quite similar to Richarlison, but much more kind of, I think, techie, very, very good on the ball and all that good stuff. But yeah, they're cleaning up in this group. They're cleaning up. He doesn't have that celebration, and it probably means he needs to get onto the big stage in order to develop one. Senegal, I think, probably a 2nd, because they do have a good squad apart from Mane. They do have some good players in there that we don't know about. I think isn't it Idrissa Gana Gueye from Senegal? There's the likes of obviously Koulibaly, Edouard Mendy. They have a good They have good goalkeeper. Papa Matasar is, I think, probably not. The fact that he doesn't even start for that team does show that they have some deep players there for Senegal. So second. Ecuador, though, the fact that they're even in this tournament and they displaced maybe a Colombia, let's say a Costa Rica, or no, Costa Rica are in it. Well, shows my knowledge. But I don't know. I think Ecuador, the fact that they are in it does show that they must be quite good. So
they're
maybe
deceivingly strong. Ecuador.
Yeah, that's. I'm feeling like them being in the tournament is kind of like a sleeper dark horse for this group. Like if Senegal were to slip up, I could see Ecuador finishing second. So just for the hells of it, Netherlands first, Ecuador second, Senegal third. Senegal drop out. I'm going to say Senegal drop out. Ecuador finish strong. Right.
What about you, Jacob?
They're kind of weird. Yeah, it's like a team that's like in there. And you're like, why are they in there? And they're like, they must be kind of good.
Right. This is a group, though, that you would look at from the outside, I would think. And if you're Netherlands, you got to be licking your chops. Some of these other groups, I do want to get whenever the group comes around, and if you think it's the group of death, because I feel like the groups are pretty well dispersed, but there's one group that I think is a little bit stronger than all the other groups. And when we get there, I'll tell you what mine is. But for Group A, Netherlands, they have to top this group. You come in second, that's a disappointment, but at least you get through. But they should top this group easily, in my opinion. Like Michael said, they're the deepest. They do have some, green behind the ears guys? Is that what they call, unseasoned? Yeah. They have that, but so does Senegal. Senegal's got some young cats. Qatar's got some young cats that barely been playing ball for 4 years. So,
or that they just took from Brazil or, or whatever.
Isn't like their best player they just grabbed from there or something like that?
I think a few players they grabbed from there, if I'm not mistaken.
I know they're doing that with the fans. That was pretty fun to see. The England, those Qatari people posing as England fans.
I think it was actually they hired a bunch of fans from Qatar, or not Qatar, from Pakistan and India, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They got a bunch of fans from Pakistan and India.
You know what's interesting is Qatar did that when they were here in America playing friendlies and qualify. Like they were in.
They were doing that for qualifying games.
They were hilarious. In the qualifying games, and they were also like in the Gold Cup. They were in a tournament with us, and it was to get them ready for the World Cup. And I remember it was like there was like these 9 guys that they grabbed, and then all of a sudden there was photos of these 9 guys like in normal clothes, and then all of a sudden they're like full Qatari get-ups. Like it was hilarious to see. But I do not think Qatar makes out the group unless there's some even more shady shit happening. But I think the eyeballs are too on them right now. There's gonna be too much.
It was like what, 7.5 million per player?
Was it?
I don't know. Good point by Wolves Finland there too. I'm sticking with Ecuador as actually second. I'm going to be confident in Ecuador as like qualifying for the, because he just said as well, the fact that they play in the mountains and they play in really high heat and everything, like they are
and strong humidity. It is humid as I have family.
It's not going to be humid though there. It's not. It's going to be dry heat. It's going to be like Texas, but then funny enough, Texas is more humid in the winter from what I experienced. But I don't know. It's going to be like
Ecuador's got a couple Premier League players too. What's his name for
Brighton? Over at Brighton. I was going to look up their squad and see if I recognized anybody else, but I feel like they're going to be secretly good. So Enner Valencia, that's a throwback. Caicedo over at Brighton. There's some good. Yeah. Okay.
They got some deceiving.
I think they're going to be getting. I think
second, they're very strong defensively.
I'm confident in it.
That's what I'm thinking of. Is
they also seem like a team more than sum of the parts, right? More of a sum of the parts sort of team, which always gets a good.
But see, Senegal's kind of like that too. Even with Mane, they're kind of like that as well. So I think it will be a tough fight right there between them. But no, Mane has got to give. I agree with you, Jack. Gives me the upper hand for Group A. I think Netherlands top it, Ecuador come in second, Senegal tight third, maybe barely get out. Qatar is going to bottom that group unless there's some kind of crazy exchanges of brown envelopes, wink, wink, so to speak. But big up Spurs. I think we know who Spurs is going for. Big up yourself,
I'll be rooting
buddy.
for Ecuador. That's a fun hipster team to be rooting for. That'll be fun. I'll be cheering for them in that group for sure.
Yeah, Caicedo and Estupiñán, they're good. And then also they got what's his name? Michael. He played for FC Dallas. Then we sold him to a Bundesliga team when I first.
Carlos Gruezo. Is he healthy? I don't know,
but I know he's from Ecuador.
In his last game.
Yeah, he's in there. He's in there.
Let's
He's in
go.
there. I see him
Get
on the
in there.
plane. He's on the plane.
Get in there.
Okay, because
he's
he
a-
got
he's a
hurt
nice
and he was
guy.
crying. He was crying in his last game before the international break.
You
So
are not
there was
showing
a-
the
I am good
facts.
for
Are
him.
you scared of the truth, Mike?
Huh?
What?
What's the truth?
I don't know.
Perhaps moon boots and the fridge are the truth.
Are moon boots in the fridge the truth? I don't know what. Clarify for us, please, David Clark. Ryman's son supporting my Vatos Mexico. Orale way. That's my. If I have my top 3 teams, USA, Mexico, and Korea because of Heung Daddy, obviously.
Yeah. Mexico, my favorite of the 2 neighbors of America. Love Mexico.
Someone give me a South Korea jersey rooting for them because I literally don't care about the World Cup. There you go, Ben. But join. Come on, man. I've been trying to tell you, tell Kuva, tell everybody, jump in the pool. The water's nice and warm. And there's plenty of room for everybody, including Jack. And he's at the pool already. He's at the pool. He sees us splashing. He's thinking about jumping in. So everyone can jump in. Gruezo, that's right, Zarspurs. He's fit to play. He says he's fine. Zarspurs, you got to jump on a stream with us. I love the Ecuador love. I have family from Ecuador, so I got a soft spot for them. I'm proud that they qualified, and I know that my family is just super happy
Sleeper
that they
team for
qualified.
sure. Such a sleeper team. I think
David.
they'll end up being.
I saw your comment, and that's why I pulled up the stadiums, and I saw that they all have roofs.
They probably have
all
like conditioning on the field or something.
Maybe.
They probably got those little misty fans that England like for their training.
I just said that they all had roofs. I didn't say they didn't have air conditioning. I asked the question because I saw your comment. But
Big up David
no,
Clark.
I don't know if they have like super duper like advanced technology air conditioning in their stadiums or whatnot. But
Bro, we're 4 subs away from 400.
Come on.
there we go. Thank you guys for subscribing. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, come on, 396.
There it is,
Let's go.
396 subscribers.
Come on.
4 away. 4 away.
4 away. We were just saying how we like the number 4, but let's get rid of that.
I think it
4.
looks a lot sexier than a 3 or 4. That's what Dave and I talk about. Which numbers look sexier than others? I think 4 looks very sexy, much sexier than a 3.
Here's the thing that whenever we crossed the 300 threshold, I had a nice Gerard Butler story to share. A nice little anecdote about, Gerard Butler.
So what are we hearing today?
That's the thing. If we hit 400, I have a 4. But see, like, there's no movie called 400, so I got to think of something in the realm of like that has to do with the number. That's a nice, fun anecdote. But I don't know if it can top the Gerard Butler story. I just don't know. Like, did y'all hear that Gerard Butler story? It was on a late night pop up show that I did. Basically, Jack, I'll just tell everyone, Gerard Butler is quite the lover. So I've heard.
That would
My
make
wife-
sense.
In LA, my wife has a friend who met him at a bar randomly, just some little hole in the wall bar. She met him, took a picture with him the next morning, and said he was the best thing that ever happened to her. So Gerard Butler is
You know
as
what?
much of a stud as you thought he was.
He could have been off, to Persia, right? After that, meeting in LA to go fight the likes of what's his name?
With the
Saunders
rings?
or whatever.
With the
No,
rings?
Yeah, but it's like a real person that he's
Safe to say they were entertained.
I am a bit of a history nerd, so I do usually know the name of that ruler. But yeah, maybe that was his
Xerxes.
last. Maybe that was Xerxes, right? That was his last, night out with the ladies before his battle with Xerxes. You never know.
Yeah, we'll
David
see.
Clark.
Gerard Butler
They
never
have
to be seen again.
Gerard Butler. Hey, and he's never stopped being the alpha male in all the movies he plays.
Yeah.
So
It's not
there's a
going to
reason.
matter, David, when Jesus Ferreira is scoring against England in the World Cup.
It sucks that it can't be Ricardo Pepe El Chucuzon, bro. I was so fucking ready to.
Yeah, that seems like a
I'll be
big
super
loss,
confident,
boys.
but I'll still be like realistic that we won't win the group. But it's still, fuck England because it's just.
Can I
No,
ask?
we're
Is
winning the group,
Aronson? Does
USA.
Aronson start for the USA team? Like again,
I've
this is coming from
I've seen some
somebody who doesn't
lineups
know.
where they want him more as a super sub. They want him coming in at the
like
sixth.
our Jack Grealish. Or
We got to
something.
start him, man.
But
we
I
gotta
think
start him.
who do you start? Timothy Weah over him?
Does
I
Gio
don't.
Reyna start ahead of him?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
A
confused
candidate.
about. Like who starts ahead of him?
Oh, bro, we just hit 402.
We
Come
did.
on, boys.
Alright.
There we go.
Hey,
Love
hey.
that.
There it
Big
is.
up. There it is. Big ups,
Hold on.
everyone in the chat.
Share
Thank
the
you.
screen that way.
Thank you.
it's
Come
like
on, boys.
I'm
Nice
gonna-
one.
402.
I'm just gonna hold up this. This is a
Conte
trophy.
approves.
Thank you for the 400. We couldn't have done this without y'all. You've all made this possible. I want to thank the Lord. 402.
Doesn't a 4 look a lot sexier? Don't you agree?
Then a 3. Yeah, I agree. Thank you all so much. And look at that. Look at that. I just want to say, I don't know who's got a header quite like us.
No, yours is the best in the game, I must say. What I like is that Jacob is the coxswain for Conte's canoe here, and then Mike is sort of kind of.
I'm supporting. I'm in the back.
You're in the back, which is actually where the power comes from.
That's the power.
You would think Conte would be in the back, but Conte trusts you enough. Conte trusts you enough to
He's
be
leading the way, and I'm just like, I'm there for the ride, and I'm trusting him, and I'm just
Jacob's
holding on
doing
to
the
him.
coxswain work, right?
Very
I'm
tight.
there for both of them.
And all that.
What y'all need? What y'all need? I got you both. You fall, I'll help you. Man, big ups. We have passed 400. That's fucking immense. I've been saying I wanted to hit
Going into the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, boys. There you go.
There we go.
Hell yeah.
Big
Thank you guys
ups
so
to
much.
our new subscribers. Thank you for joining. There's a new name I see here. And I can't wait to talk about your group. Kubo Fan Japan says we have a difficult group. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Not a
you have a very
friendly one.
difficult group. Someone
All
said
right,
the group
boys.
of death.
You ready to get into Group C?
Group C. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Jack, you lead us off this time.
Like
What
I
do you
said, I enjoy Mexico. I probably might find myself rooting for Mexico as much as I might the USA.
Orale.
So I'm going to say Argentina, Mexico. This is tough between Mexico and Poland, right? Because I actually think Mexico are a lot worse than they used to be in the past. It's a much weakened Mexico team. There are a lot of holes in that team. There's some issues there. Poland is similar, though. Like, I think there are some issues there. It's not a great team. So it's just going to be who can be better than between Mexico and Poland. But I'm going to say Mexico do it. So I'm going to go Argentina, Mexico, Poland, Saudi Arabia. I don't even know of any Saudi Arabian players that play in Europe. So I'm not, I'm just not knowledgeable there. So I think it's Mexico pull it out.
That's
I
fair.
also would say Raul Jimenez. I've always thought secretly, at least, has been since Giroud left the Premier League, one of the most handsome strikers, I think, of the Premier League. I think
he
Raul
is.
Jimenez.
I mean, I could only
When
imagine
Giroud
him-
left, I think when Giroud left, like officially, I thought he immediately became the most handsome striker in the Premier League. Raul Jimenez, for me personally.
I think his little headgear helps too. The scar makes him
And the
seem-
headgear is taken away from it for me. It's just the moment
Really?
he entered. Yeah, just the moment I ever laid eyes on Raul Jimenez, even at Atletico Madrid, I was like, that is a good-looking guy. Like, and I think when he entered the Premier League, when he graced the Premier League with his looks, I think once Giroud left, I wish he got more appreciation, but he didn't. So
403
now's my
now.
time to
Let's
now's
go.
my time to show that appreciation to Raul.
There you go. It's not a bad time to jump on the Raul train. I've always been a fan just because he's a Mexican player. When a Mexican is in the Premier League, to me, that's a huge. I mean, bro, if you've ever been to Mexico, if you've ever seen some of the places it's a tough place to get out of, and then not only to get out of,
He's
but
from
to find
outside Mexico
success.
City, which is also one of the toughest, right? Like the parts right outside Mexico City, not a great.
And inside Mexico City's tough in general. Like
yeah,
any
it's true. But
major
like he's
city.
from I think he's actually
Love
from
Mexico
the
City.
real, let's say, barrios outside Mexico City. Like Raul is a real dude. He's a real dude. He's a real
Yeah.
guy.
So you got Argentina and Mexico making it out?
Yeah, I'm rooting for Mexico hard. Not kidding.
Fuck yeah.
Rooting for them hard.
My suegra would thank you. That's my mother-in-law. She thanks you very much. Michael, you want me to go or did you already go?
All right. I'm conflicted also. My heart wants me to say that Poland, Lewandowski, and company, they're going to pull through. They're going to get second in this group. They're going to move on to the knockouts. But my head says it's Mexico and it's the World Cup. They almost always go through in the group. At least in recent history, they have. I'm going to say Mexico second. Behind Argentina, we'll get into like the big predictions in a little bit, but in terms of the group, I think Argentina, they top the group. I think this is Messi's World Cup. I think he's just going to control everything that Argentina does is going to go through Messi, and I think he's going to have a fantastic World Cup this year. They're going to top the group. Gonna say Mexico because my head is telling me to. It's them in the World Cup. I think they're just going to find a way. I don't think they're that good this season. They're certainly weaker than they have been, like you said, Jack. And then I think Saudi Arabia is just going to be the bottom barrel of this group. What about you, Jacob?
First and foremost, I'm going to agree with J-Co and the other sentiments around Jack has Spanish fever, but the most handsome attacker is Sonny. You did say striker, which sometimes you could argue Sonny is the striker. He'll always.
We have to test this out, J-Co. We're just going to have to put Jimenez in a similar cardigan with similar glasses and just test it out and just put them side by side.
Get
That's
him in
the only
that
way you can find out.
Burberry.
It's the most fair way you can do it. Just put them in the same outfit and put them side by side. That's how we'll do it.
Sonny was always the most handsome, and he could wear nothing.
Heung Daddy.
I was gonna say he could wear nothing and still, but of course he could. Group C, I have Argentina topping. I agree with Michael. This is Messi's World Cup. It is his to lose. Argentina has no holes and they had no Giovanni Lo Celso, so bro, they're gonna be good. And I would like to see them lift it because then also Giovanni Lo Celso would not be able to lift it. He'd be at home crying about it, and that
he'll be crying so hard. I
bow-legged walking to the bathroom and everything. I mean, fucking guy. Fuck that guy. So this is the one time I do want Argentina to win it because they have no Lo Celso. So I think they'll top this group. And then again, obviously you're looking either Mexico or Poland is going to make it out. I will not say Poland because outside of Lewandowski, I don't know what threats they really got, and maybe that's just my lack of ball.
Over at Napoli, that dude's pretty saucy. I would say, because Napoli this season, it's like almost like watching. I don't know. It's almost like watching FIFA Street. Honestly, like that Napoli team. There's so many techie dudes in that team, from Kavicha to Tanguy and Dembele to Anguissa, and then also Zielinski.
That's a fair shout for like FIFA Street because Tanguy's definitely got that street to him.
Zielinski's almost saucier than Tanguy. Like Zielinski is, he's a naughty boy.
I'm gonna have to look into him. That's my fault for not. I still think Mexico. They didn't pick their strongest squad. They could have. Shout out Arturo Rubio. We were chatting about the Mexico national team a little bit, and he's kind of my inside source.
Also a victim of bad coaching sometimes, the Mexico team.
Apparently Tata's, everyone hates him. Yeah. So, you know what? I still think they make it out the group, but that's probably about it for them. I do think they'll be able to top Poland and Saudi Arabia. Again, like you said, I don't really know much. I can't name one player from Saudi Arabia, so maybe that's just my lack of ball knowledge. Or
no, I can't name a single one. Really can't.
This next group D for DAG, I think is pretty straightforward. I don't think we'll see any surprises here. If there was one to do something strange, maybe Australia, but I don't think.
No, I think more
one
so Tunisia.
17-year-old Cruel, whatever his name is. There's a nice left winger for Australia. He's like 19 years old. I think he just signed for Newcastle. And then Cruel, some with a K. But I watched him play when it was the Kiwis versus the Roos, and he was fantastic. I've seen him play a couple of times, and I think he's going to be a great youngster, but not enough. I think Denmark and France are just too strong, too powerful. I think it's a straightforward. France tops, Denmark comes in second, and then Tunisia and Australia. Have a good time. Enjoy the tournament. Go sightseeing, I guess. Is that what they do? What else do you do? You can't drink, can't smoke, what are you going to do out there?
Apparently there's like have you ever heard of these? There's like these rave or like EDM spider cages. I think it's a certain company. It's like Arcadia, I think it's called. Is the company. Apparently they're shipping out this EDM spider cage out to Qatar. So apparently that's one of the places you can drink and have some fun. But I think it's a £75 entry fee. So you know, if you want to drink, you're gonna have to be surrounded by flashing strobes and neon, I guess.
Well, Senegal does well, and during the flashing
and I think
green neon.
Does that include the ticket that you have to pay like 19,500 pounds for? Did you guys hear about that?
Apparently those fire
like if you pay that special ticket,
are also £140 a night, I think, as well. Those fire festival tents that they're in.
Apparently, there's these 19.5 pound or 19,500 pound tickets that you can get for inside the stadium, and you can actually have access to alcohol.
Oh
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
people
yes,
were
for the box
roasting
seats.
them.
Yes, yeah, that's the
People were
glory.
roasting
That is
them. It's
actually
like,
glorious. That
you have to respect our country and our like views and religion and like
But you could
our
pay to
practices, unless you pay 19,500
that
pounds
is actually
to sit in the
hilarious.
box
I forgot
seats in
about
our
Jesus.
stadium.
That is
That's-
brilliant.
that's
Actually,
insane.
another
Like,
thing,
what
just
is the
quickly
point?
too. Another thing quickly is that apparently the hotels, since it's only run by one, BN Sport is the only company that is able to air the games in Qatar. They have a very expensive license for people to be able to show the games. So apparently, not all the hotels can afford for all of the TVs to show the games. You know how like most TVs and hotels have HBO and things like that. It's
Mhm.
basically where they can't afford to show the games. So there will be teams, I think, staying at hotels in the tournament that will have to like buy some VPN or like something like that in order to watch the games. Like they can't
Jesus.
actually even watch it in the hotel.
That's
apparently, certain
ridiculous,
teams.
bro. Like at that point, I'm just staying home. I'm sorry. I'm gonna
It'd be
stay
just
home.
hilarious to see Thomas Mueller like get in trouble for like buying a VPN and like illegally streaming the game or something.
Does anyone have any changes for this group D? before we get-
France, I think, are always right. A bit of a drama team. They always have a bit of soap opera going on over there, regardless whether it be Mbappe, whether it be blackmail, whether it be something to go. Something's going to happen, soap opera wise, over in that France team. It always does. Denmark, there's a strong chance they actually could finish on top. I think they're probably secretly the strongest of the teams going into it, at least form wise. So I'd say Denmark, maybe strong chance they finish on top. My sister, who speaks Arabic, went to Tunisia recently, and she got me a Hannibal jersey, which is that kid who plays over for Man United. So
Hannibal Mejbri or whatever.
yeah, and so I think if maybe the third place team, probably Tunisia.
Sick. That's sick.
He has
That is
nice
actually
hair
sick.
too, actually. Hannibal.
No, he has
has
cool hair. I've noticed him because of his hair, and he was playing very aggressive. And if you have hair and you're aggressive, I like it.
Yeah.
All
That's
right,
cool. He plays
so
for Tunisia.
I'm gonna ask you guys: do you think I'm weird if I say France has the potential to be the like powerhouse team to not make it out of the group stage, but they also have the potential to make a deep run, and if not,
Always
win
It's
the
always
tournament?
case. Oh, because they have.
Am I
you're
weird
so
for
right.
thinking that?
No,
No.
you're not, because you're so right. Because they have
They have
probably-
injuries. They
they have the
have
best
certain
players to
key
pick from in
players
the
out,
world.
but they still have the superstars. Like, you know what I mean?
They have the best players to pick from
And
in the world.
Pembe's out, Conte's out, there's Pogba's out, there Maignan out. I mean, he wouldn't have played anyways because Hugo's.
But they have like
playing,
six
but-
other great French keepers. Like they can,
exactly like,
choose
but they
after
just
that.
have the depth. They have other midfielders that are so talented. Chouameni's going to get his chance. I think Camavinga's in the squad as well.
Yep.
There's other younger midfielders that are going to get their chance, whether it be on the bench or in the 11. You know, there's still Benzema's playing this year, and Mbappe's still in the squad. Ousmane Dembele's still in the squad. Antoine Griezmann's still in the squad.
Yeah.
You have so many strong key players in this team to make a deep run, but I don't know.
They're a
Like
victim
you
of
said,
bad
Jack, they
coaching,
have the
though, too,
drama. There's just something that I think that I just deep down inside of me, like it's just like a personal feeling where I can somehow see them struggling, kind of like how Spain, you know, they had that World Cup hangover. Germany, they had that World Cup hangover. Will France have that World Cup hangover this year? Will they have it? There's
I
a
think
part
we
of me
might have
that
had
says
too much
yes,
Mbappe.
but I'm going to say France up top with Denmark closely behind in second place in this group. And I actually think Australia is going to have a decent run this year. I actually do think they're going to have some decent performances. I think they're going to be that little like dark horse of the dark horses and possibly will contend for that second spot. I don't think they will. I think they'll get third, followed by Tunisia.
I'm just
Yeah.
going to quickly add, I would even make a bet on this. I think Australia actually secretly are one of the worst teams in this tournament because they barely made it out
Yeah.
of the Oceania region to even qualify for this. Like, it's quite easy for Australia to qualify for these tournaments. If I'm not mistaken, it's quite easy for them. And I heard they made it very difficult on themselves to get into this tournament. And I've heard this Australia team is worse than even the previous Australia team that made it to the World Cup. So
It's just,
I think they're going to actually get kind of smacked. I think
think
there's
it's
a
one of
chance
those-
they get smacked. Like
Just
they
have a
don't
good
have any
time.
players really in Europe. Like there are not a lot of Australian players really in Europe anymore. Like apart from like Aaron Moy, like who's over at
Yeah, and then
Huddersfield.
that one
Like,
guy who just signed with Newcastle.
yeah, like you said, the 17-year-old. But I
Or is
think
that- yeah.
Tunisia secretly are probably a better team, maybe more so. And
I think
then
that'll be a fun
France,
game
like
for
you
them to
said,
play.
I think France have the best players to pick from. But Deschamps, like Daniel Larson said, like they are also a victim of bad coaching. France, very much a victim of bad coaching, and they always have some sort of click going on and behind the scenes, some sort of thing that's going on behind the scenes with that squad as well. They all pretend to get along, all those guys, but they really don't. All those French players, they really don't get along, but they all pretend to, but they really don't.
Yeah, they're very strong. I think to answer your question though, Michael, I think the shock will be that they'll make it out the group and then get bounced out the first round after that. That's what I really think will happen, and it'll be a big disappointment. It'll be, you know, they're talking about Mbappe missed this or whoever. There's so much talent they didn't do X, Y, and Z. That's what I think. I think they're just a team waiting to drop a game that they're not supposed to, or maybe they just struggle to make it out the group. Who knows? I don't think there was. Forget who it was. Someone else was commenting. Ryman's son was saying that he believes this is France's Mbappe. He said that this is Mbappe's World Cup. Yeah, I think it's going to be Mbappe's World Cup. So
I think he already had a World Cup.
Yeah,
He may not-
again.
that's what I think too.
When he won.
He may not be like as likable anymore, but man, that guy's still fucking good.
Yeah,
I
it's
still
just
think that it's the talent, man. The talent is just so much. It's could be overwhelming, to be honest.
Yeah, but
That
he could be the guy that also
downfall.
undoes it all with that
Yeah.
attitude and everything. That's what I'm saying. Like he even recently, like what is it? The sponsor that the French national team has. He like he tried to have the whole team boycott the sponsor of their team, like because he just doesn't like vibe with that sponsor. Like whatever, it was just like just something really petty. Like he just doesn't really, you know, like the sponsor of the French national team. And so when they were doing like the team picks with the sponsor, he like abstained from it or something, or like tried to like boycott it, and he tried to get other players to boycott it. Like the dude is like a nuisance. The guy is just a problem. Like, and
that's fun.
I
That's a
just
fun
don't think
time.
that's gonna go translate too well. Like, go
No.
win the World Cup.
Yeah, I
like,
think-
but Mike said it could also go the other way. Like sometimes guys like that, it can be the other way around. Like everybody's on the same page. They're all toxic as fuck, but they're all on the same page and they get there. Or they're all toxic as fuck and it goes the other way around and it gets undone. So
Yeah, I hope it's the latter for
Me too. I
selfish
don't like the
purposes.
French team for that reason. I just don't like all that soap opera stuff that continues to happen every tournament.
I don't like the talent selecting that these big nations will do from Africa, and they take all the African talent and then they cap them with their country, so then they can't go play for their actual native country. It's fucked up. They did it to my boy Adama Traore. Now he's tied to Spain. They've done it with countless other great African talent. But moving along to Group E, Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan. I'll go first because I was excited about this one. This is my runner-up for the group of death. I have a different group of death we have yet to talk about. But Group E is definitely, I would say, the second, maybe arguably the strongest group. Spain is no pushover. They're young, but they've got history. No Sergio Ramos, so that's interesting. There were some selections they didn't make, but they do have some nice talent there in Spain. So they're definitely going to be one to contend. Costa Rica is a very strong defensive team. I think they're highly underestimated. Again, this is a strong group. Costa Rica, I wouldn't be surprised if when teams play Costa Rica, there's some 0-0, 1-1s, maybe 1-0. They're going to be tough fought games. They're not a walkover by any stretch. So then you got Germany, obviously very rich history. Thomas Müller. It's hard to rule the Müller out of anything.
Did you guys hear how if he scores 7 goals, he'll be the new top scorer in World Cup history?
No, Thomas Muller is a legend.
He leads in a lot of the categories for current.
He won 2 Golden Boots for 2 separate World Cups. When he was 19, and the other one was when he was 23. He's basically my favorite player of all time.
Yeah,
I love Thomas. He's hilarious as well. He's
No,
like
he's
a
banter.
hilarious human
I've always
being.
liked him because
Lewandowski.
one of my older brothers, he actually
Like
looks
the most un-German guy I've
Yeah.
ever like met. Like
I have a
or
brother
silly
who-
dude.
I got this brother who looks just like Thomas Mueller, plays just like Thomas Mueller, maybe a little bit more of an attacker, but plays just like Thomas Mueller does. And so I've always liked him just because he reminded me of my brother. He's a funny guy too. So my pick for this group, I saved Japan for last because we got Kubo Fan in here. Honestly, I think Japan is very strong this year as well. I like the Daichi kid from
so many
Eintracht.
saucy forwards, dude. They have so many saucy
Takumi
forwards. the
Minamino.
Japanese.
I've wanted us to sign Minamino for a
Kubo.
while.
Matoma, that
Kubo's
Brighton
a
guy,
dog.
is saucy.
Yeah. I honestly, Japan. This is my pick.
They're
I'm just gonna
stacked
say
in the forward line.
Germany
stacked.
and Japan are my two to make it out the group because I think Costa Rica is going to fuck shit up for the other teams and make it real difficult. It's going to be a group that gets shaken up, I think. And I see Japan coming out second, with Germany coming out on top, and Spain missing out. Goodbye.
Whoa.
That's my pick. It's a little bit of a shocker. I think I
love that.
scared Michael when I told him. He was a little bit like, "Are you all right?" But honestly, I just think Japan. I'm a fan. Maybe I'm just a fan of some of their players. I think Japan's a really strong squad, and we've seen it time and time again. These Asian teams, they like to shake things up in ways that the World Cup funny business happens. So this is one of those funny business I think that's going to happen. Japan's going to qualify or make it out the group above Spain is my prediction because of Costa Rica being there. Now, if you put Canada, Morocco, anyone else in there, I think it's a little bit different. But that Costa Rican team is a tricky little bastard bunch of bananas. So I think they're going to shake things up. Japan make it out second. That's for me.
Here's what I would say about Japan is that I think they have a strong chance of finishing second. In fact, I think they're probably one of the dark horses of like sort of these groups, if not kind of a bit of a sleeper team. But what I did hear, and I'd be curious what Kubo has to say here about this, is that I did hear that Japan didn't like exactly call up the, how would I put this? Like the players that we might know about, like as maybe non-Japanese fans, they didn't bring up like all the household names. Like they didn't bring up a lot of the Celtic guys. We obviously know like Celtic have a lot of Japanese players in their squad. If I'm not mistaken, they only brought like one or two of those Celtic guys like with them. They brought like a ton of J League players instead of some of those Celtic players, which is a bit weird. In fact, I think one of that guy's like, what's his name? Like Hirohashi or like whatever, one of their players up front for Celtic, I don't think they brought, or one of their midfielders for Celtic, they didn't bring this season. So that's kind of an interesting one that they didn't, let's say, bring a lot of their European players with them for this tournament. They, preferred some of the J League players instead. So I think that is an interesting call. I don't know how that will work for them, but I feel like they're going to be like a weird team to come up against. They could get a big upset against a Germany or Spain. In fact, I think it's guaranteed they'll get a big upset against a Spain or a Germany. Germany, I always really root for just because I think they play the most aesthetically pleasing football. I think they, right, they just try to dominate you, a high press, everything. They're fully capable of conceding goals, but they love to just sort of play that expansive, beautiful type of brand of football. In fact, they play, I think, a much more exciting brand of football than the Spanish do. So I would say Germany, they are fully capable of slipping up so hard, but they're also capable of beating you 8-0. So
Yeah.
I think that's the way they play. They either will lose 3-0 to you or they'll beat you 8-0. So I think it's going to be Germany, Japan, Spain, Costa Rica. I'm going to go that.
Wow.
I'm going to go with the Japan. I'm feeling vibes from Japan. I really am. Just because I think this is a tournament where, I don't know, like I think it's almost like Argentina energy coming from that Japanese team, if that makes any sense. Like I think they're going to take this tournament very seriously, this Japanese team, and I think they're going to really outperform maybe a lot of people's expectations. So I'm going Germany, Japan. But I could see it being Spain, Japan. It's like it's going to be either Spain or Germany first, one of the two. But I think Spain or Germany are going to drop to third, one of them. But Hansi Flick, yeah, that's the thing, Daniel Larson. Hansi Flick is he's a bad boy as a coach. He is a good coach. He is a good coach. So I think Germany have a very strong chance of beating a lot of teams like 6-0 in this. Like, there are a lot of chances of Brazil, Germany happening all over again this tournament because Hansi Flick is on the coaching board. Good point there, Daniel.
I hate to be the guy. I hate to be that guy in this group, but I'm going to be a little bit more straightforward and boring.
Yeah, you should. Somebody's got to be. Somebody's got to be.
I'm going Germany, Spain, Japan, Costa Rica. I do think Japan is very good, and I really do want to agree with you guys that they're going to get that second spot. I just think that the other two teams are just going to frankly take care of business. Like Germany is one of the teams that, for me, I have them going far in the tournament, at least maybe like a semifinal, maybe a quarterfinal run. But I just think that they are a very, very strong team, a lot of talent, a lot of depth with this new 5 subsystem. You already mentioned it, Hansi Flick. They're going to go very, very far.
No nose picking love anymore.
I honestly think that they're going to be the ones to dominate their group the most, along with maybe Brazil or Argentina. I think that's how dominant they are going to at least open up in the World Cup.
That's how they try to play. That's how they try to dominate you. That's
Spain, I just think the talent is going to be a little bit too much for the other two teams in the group. I totally agree with you, Jacob. I think Costa Rica is going to cause some havoc. I think that Germany and Spain, like I said, frankly, they're just going to take care of business. Like, even if they do win only 1-0 or 2-1 against like the teams like Costa Rica or Japan, I just think they're going to get it done. So I'm going to be boring. I'm going to be that guy. I'm sorry, but Germany, Spain, Japan, and Costa Rica.
I mean, I feel like that's a safe pick. I like the Japan aspect because I think the Costa Rica is just that wild card that's going to shake that group up. First, I want to say quick up to our boy on Twitch. What's up? How you doing? Says hope we're doing well from across the pond.
Okay.
Says think Germany won't
believe in
do
the
as well.
Flick. Believe in the Hansi, my man. Believe in
the
him.
Flick.
The guy, like, what did he do in a year for Bayern? He won a treble.
Everything.
In a year. He won everything.
He won everything. He won everything.
He won everything he could. Yeah. So now gotta believe it. And he also was part of the coaching staff when Germany did win the World Cup that year with Brazil. So he was part of the coaching staff then.
Spain's not
sorry
making
for
it
everyone.
out the group.
I know I'm breaking everyone in the chat's hearts. The Japan love is real right now in the comments right now.
Let me tell you why
I just want to
think
first
you're
and
wrong,
foremost
Mike.
apologize.
You guys remember Brian Ruiz quickly from Costa Rica? That guy was vibes.
Yeah.
That guy was fun.
But I just want to say this: why Spain's most definitely not going to be the one to make it out the group?
Yeah, hit me.
Is because they didn't fucking pick their best player, Adama Traore. Yeah, he's a game changer. He would have flipped the whole script. They wouldn't be able to handle that man. So that's why they don't make it out the group.
Downfall. It'd be their downfall. No.
Yeah, it will be. They just overlooked him. That's what pisses me off, bro, because he could be showing out for someone else, but Spain want to lock up that talent when they're so young. France want to lock up that talent when they're so young. It's not fair.
I think they'd rather just watch Ferran Torres miss 1,000 sitters.
Yeah, they want that true. Anyway, Spain ain't making it out the group. I ain't worried about Spain. Group F. If Scott M is here, you ain't gonna like what I got to say neither.
We'll see, Jacob. We'll see at the end of the group.
No Adama Traore, bro. It's just the way it is. No Adama, no success.
Got to feel bad for the Canadians here, boys.
Yeah, let's move on to Group F. Jack, actually, you know what, Jack? Go ahead and lead us off, man.
The Itches, my second favorite of the Itches, so I'm gonna have to put them first or second. I mean, technically wise, like, let's be honest, like, if you have a midfield of Brozovic, Modric, and like Kovacic, and also 40,000 other brilliant Itches to choose from, like, they're going to be doing just fine, I think, as they always do. They also have a much more solid back line, I think, with Gvardiol, and also that guy like Sosa is not a bad left back. I think Sutalo is like this up and coming one for Croatia. I'm a bit of a Croatian expert, so I think they're going to do just fine. Morocco, they did lose, I think, one of their best players in Amin Harit. Also, I would just say thoughts and prayers to him. I think he's not going to be able to play anymore, like, or something, like he shattered his knee or something. That guy, remember that guy for Marseille that was saucing all over us? Remember the Morocco guy for Marseille? If you guys recall it all, Amin Harit. Does that make any sense or recall? Basically, he was their best player, I think, in that second leg against us. He's very, very good. Used to play for Schalke. He's not going to be there, so Morocco are going to be slightly weakened. I do think they do have a good team, though. They don't have a great coach, but they do have a good team. Belgium have probably a great team, not a great coach. I don't know. I'm going to say Belgium just top it because it's just how it is.
Yeah,
I
say
feel like
louder,
Croatia is a second.
louder for
Croatia is
Jacob.
a second or a first. It's Belgium and Croatia. And then Canada, I want them to finish third, but I don't know. Like, I just feel bad for them. I think they're coming up against some tough opponents here.
Yeah.
I feel bad
they
for them.
are.
I think if they were
I don't
in,
feel
what's a
bad.
good example? If they were in like, what's a good Group A, like Group A or Group C or Group B, they would have a much better chance. Much better chance.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and say Belgium, Croatia, Morocco, Canada. Want to say sorry to Scott in the chat, but sorry, man. It's going to be a whole lot of Spain without the S for you in this World Cup.
Ooh.
Jacob, what about you?
I'm going to start from the bottom up and work my way to the tippity-toppity of this group. And the bottom is our sweet northern brothers, Canada. Sorry about it. No Fonzo, no fun. So, and it sucks because, I mean, I like Tajon Buchanan. I like Jonathan David. Y'all got some pieces. It's just not happening, in my opinion.
Some people are saying Morocco will qualify. I mean, I'd like to see it happen. Let's create some chaos.
They've got a couple.
They got good
talented
players.
pieces.
That's what it is. They just got good players there. It's the coaching that's the problem. They have good boys. They got good cats to pick from. Morocco, they really do.
And that's the thing. That's the thing about Morocco. It's again like one of these teams, like a Japan, Costa Rica. That's just like they've got something that can do something, and whether they do it at this moment or they don't, remains to be seen. But I like World Cup funkiness. I like crazy things happening in the World Cup. This is one of the groups I think is going to get shaken up as well. I do not have Belgium making it out of the group. I have them in third. I think their age, their pace, I think they're a little overrated in my opinion. I've just never rated them that highly. I think
they have the best midfielder in the world, Jacob.
They don't have Bentancur. No Bentancur. Fuck Kevin De Bruyne. And also, only thing I've ever liked from Belgium is the damn waffles. So, I'm just going to say they're coming in third. Second, I got Morocco. I got them shaking things up. And Croatia as well, playing beyond their wits because of the likes of Luka Modric and Perisic and all the other itches.
The itches.
I think they're a strong squad. I think Belgium's a strong squad, but I think this is a group where something funky happens, a little Moroccan shake up, if you know what I'm talking about.
Moroccan's got the nice spices as well. Got very good spice to choose from, and I imagine they got some spicy forwards to pick from as well.
Yeah.
Let's say so. That's all you need. That's all you need.
Kubo says Morocco will qualify, and then name some of their good picks. I'm trying to go. Keksi, what's up, buddy? Says for Group F, Croatia, Belgium, Morocco, Canada. So we got another Croatia topper as well. Donovan Osterreicher. Big up, Donovan. How you doing? Canada to beat the dinosaur Belgium with their pace.
Stop the cap.
I told Michael this before the show. We were kind of talking about it.
If you got 100% fit Fonzo, Donovan, like anything is possible because that dude is filthy.
He's a game changer.
For Canada.
He's
he
a
is
game
filthy
changer
for Canada. Like he plays, like we said before, he plays every position for them. Like he's brilliant.
And David,
really
I starred this, and I'll pull that up later. It's a lot at this moment for me to read. Croatia first, Belgium second. Whatever happens in this World Cup, we're just happy to finally be here. Canada, we're making nation history. That's right. They actually have a really good coach too. Their coach is like I've heard really loved in that locker room. Like he's one of the guys that they really love. So all it takes
They'll
is
be
a
able
little
to hug each other when they lose.
I was gonna say, hey, nothing wrong with a little Ted Lasso belief. The tricky one, you are right. They
They're just
do make
in a
good
tough
chocolate.
group. They're just in a hard group. Like I never said they were bad. They're
This is
like
hard group.
they, I feel bad for Canada. Like no, they're in a tough group. I actually do think they're like if Morocco. Let's just say this: if Morocco had a good coach, it would be no chance for them at all. Like no chance whatsoever if they had.
I mean, part of the reason why
Actually,
they
they're
topped
saved by
CONCACAF is
the
because
fact
USA
Morocco
and
don't
Mexico
have
were
a
just
good coach.
bad, but Canada's good.
I think just Canada sadly have the worst team to pick from as well. Like that's just the other thing. Like,
They
Morocco
qualified in
have a
second,
good-
didn't they? They were second in CONCACAF.
No, they were first. Who was second?
I thought we were first.
No,
we were not
USA
first.
wasn't first.
In my heart, they were red, white, and blue. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah,
Not on
Canada, to be
paper.
fair, they cleaned up in CONCACAF.
They did. They won comfortably. They got
Too bad
first
it's not going to
comfortably.
be played in Edmonton, these games. But,
Edmonton.
no ice fortress to play from this game. So
Give Canada the
Jaco says, "Give Canada the participation trophy."
Emmerback going to score a hat trick for Morocco. That's another cat. I didn't even know he played for Morocco.
yeah, he's their midfielder. yeah.
Mhm.
We were linked with him. Stop the cat. That'll be a fun group. I do think those two groups are going to get shaken up. That's just my personal belief. Group Gasm, Group G. I feel like that's pretty. I don't know. Maybe Cameroon.
Here's what I will say: Serbia, this is dangerous. They picked 25 out of 26 players. 25 of those players have itches in their names. That's dangerous. Whereas Croatia brought 18 itches. So they decide to leave close to 8 itches off the plane there.
It's a lot of
Serbia
itches.
decided to go for 25 itches.
It's a lot of itches.
I just think is a lot. Like that's a lot of itch power. That's just something that you just can't really ignore. It's an itch you can't ignore, really, like Jacob was doing there. It's an itch you just simply can't ignore. So I think Serbia easily second, and they're basically my number one. They're going to be the team I'm rooting for the absolute hardest, Serbia. So I'm really excited about that team. I don't think you should ask me about them because I'll probably speak for about 40 minutes. So I'm going to say they'll finish second. Brazil are a hot favorite for this one. Maybe Neymar's last World Cup, potentially. You could say a lot of these guys last World Cup. You could argue even too. A lot of these big Brazilian players. So I think there's a lot of pressure for them going into this one. Switzerland, though, are quite good. They do have a very informed Granit Xhaka, and Granit Xhaka is quite good for them when he does play for Switzerland, and he's carrying a lot of good form at this moment in time. They have a good coach, too, Switzerland. They do have a good coach. And Cameroon also don't have some bad players either, but it has to be Serbia. I'm rooting for them so hard. So Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon, just like how it looks right there.
My picks are pretty much gonna mirror yours. I think Brazil tops that group. I think Serbia. The only thing I might switch is maybe Cameroon and Switzerland. I think Cameroon may be able to pick up a couple points, but I do think this is a pretty straightforward group. I don't see Brazil fumbling. I don't see Serbia. Serbia's pretty strong. I definitely see those two coming out the group. What about you, Michael?
Read it top to bottom, and that's my pick right there.
Yeah, so it's one of the most straightforward groups out of all of these groups, I think, as far as this panel is concerned. Group
I
H,
think
though,
Serbia and Switzerland are going to fight it out. Like Switzerland is very talented. They have a lot of good players as well, but Serbia field a very strong and talented team this year. I think especially just from past years, Serbia has really built up some momentum. I believe they're the ones who knocked Italy out of the World Cup as well.
Yeah.
I know they didn't win against
And they beat Portugal
Northern
twice.
Macedonia or whoever it was, but Serbia put up some really good performances for qualifiers. So I expect them to finish in second, but don't doubt the Swiss. The Swiss they always play well in the Euros and the World Cup when they participate. So don't doubt them, but Serbia is very strong. I think everyone should be taking them seriously as a dark horse to make a deep run this year at the World Cup.
The issue with the
I'll
Swiss
open my eyes a
is
little
that
more
the
for
Swiss
that.
have some itches on the inside here, boys. The
Uh-huh,
Swiss have
to me about
at
the
least
itches.
they have like 6 itches, I think, in the Swiss team. So they have some itches on
Okay.
the inside, so they might know some of the tactics of the Serbians. But yeah, I'm rooting so hard for these Serbians. It's so good to see them in a World Cup. They've missed out on the Euros before. Mitrovic, one of my favorite players of all time. I'm so glad to see them here. I really am.
Yeah.
So looking forward to this. And I can't wait till Martin Tyler has to read out 11 itches in a row in the team. That's just going to be glorious. I'll have a tear in my eye.
Ryman
Vlahovic is a dog too. I like Vlahovic. Jacob knows that.
Yeah, you were the one. Yeah, you were one of the people very high.
I
on
wanted him
in
to
the very
sign
beginning.
for Tottenham.
So bad.
when
I
he went to
remember. Yeah.
Juventus.
Ryman's son says this Spurs channel has the best vibes. Thanks, guys. Happy 400. Big ups. Thankful you're a part of that 400, my friend. Thank you for being here and thank you for your kind words. Vlahovic and Mitrovic, fire, says Steakic. He's going to be referred to as a Steakic now. Daniel says, sorry, Jacko, but Brazil and Switzerland go through for me. Ben
Yeah.
Kaufman says, no,
That's the
fuck
most
Switzerland.
biased answer I've given group G.
Nah,
I'll
F
be honest,
Switzerland. Let's
Daniel.
go, Ben.
If you want itches, go to me. I just had shingles. Oh no, buddy. I hope you're all right.
That's not
The final group, y'all. The final group to talk about. This is my group of death. This is one of the most exciting groups for me. I salivate when I look at these teams because there's a lot of
combinations you could make.
There's a million ways this thing could play out. I think we could all come up with different scenarios, and we would be wrong about the outcome of this group. This is one of the best groups. It sucks that they play a lot of their games like 3 a.m. my time, so that's not fun. But I will say this. Everyone's gonna say I'm crazy, but I don't fucking care. All right? My two making it out this group, I'm just gonna make it real quick and easy for you. Uruguay, Korea, Sonny, the Mask of Sonny, fucking wreaking havoc. Cristiano Ronaldo crying because of Sonny's death. Destruction strikes. Kim Min-jae fucking 2-footer slide on Ronaldo. All right? Thomas Partey gets double-footed. I mean, I'm talking about this is going to be one of the most exciting like outside of Group B. Group H is my next favorite just because obviously Heung-min Daddy, Heung-min Hung, Heung-min Sung, whatever you want to call him, the Mask of Sonny. I saw one that was Zunny. Wait, what did I do? Zunny? Someone did one more clever than me. I put one in Mask of Zunny, dark horse to win.
Yeah, he's
the
going
whole
Zorro
World Cup.
vibes.
Yeah, he's got so Mask of Zunny is what I'm going for. I think they may get second out the group, and they make a surprising run in this World Cup because that is the power of Sun is immense, and it can't be overvalued. So I think that the power of Sun will strike fear in the opponents, and I see Uruguay and Korea. Uruguay just because they're pretty strong. Obviously, they got the best midfielder in the world right now, which has been Bentancur. And, you know, I've been doing a little history. They won the first World Cup in like the 30, whatever. So that's kind of cool. And in 50. So that's pretty cool.
They were the first ever South American team to come to Europe and like smack some boys up in Europe, basically.
I love that.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
So that's my pick for the group. I think Portugal comes in third. Or them and Ghana are going to be fighting it out for last place. But I think Uruguay and Korea will be the ones to go through. Michael, you're shaking your head. You're looking at me like I'm mad. And I know what you're going to say, but I want you to share with everyone why you're shaking your head at me.
Just people time and time again, they doubt Ronaldo and they swear that he's not going to come into this World Cup and just fucking light this group on fire. History just proves my point over and over again. He has shown time and time again why he is probably the second greatest player of all time behind Lionel Messi, in my opinion. Look, yes, he is not in form. Yes, he has not played much this season. But look,
Bro, you hung out with
it is Cristiano Ronaldo in the World Cup, the biggest competition in all sports, period, hands down. He is going to show up, and he is not going to disappoint his country. Portugal won. Uruguay too, because I think they have a really deep and strong team. They just don't have Cristiano Ronaldo. But they do have one of the best midfielders and the most informed midfielder in the world right now, and Rodrigo Bentancur. And sadly, I have Heung-min Hung, Heung-min Dad, Heung-min Son in third, with Ghana in the bottom of the group. But look, you guys can say it. He's old or he's not in form.
Or busy
until he proves you and me wrong. I'm going to say that Ronaldo's going to go off, because when has he been proven wrong? Seriously, like when people have doubted him, like when he was down in the Champions League against Atletico, when he was with Juventus, when he was down against Juventus with Real Madrid and he scored the bike for the win. Like there are so many times where people have doubted him and he has just come back and somehow like pulled it out of his ass. Literally, there are just some times where he literally just pulls out these performances out of his ass, out of nowhere. But
he's
it's Cristiano Ronaldo at the World Cup. He might be on the verge of retirement, but until he actually does retire, this is his game, along with Lionel Messi and the Neymars of the world and Mbappe's. Like these are the competitions that these players are built for. Until he proves me wrong, I'm going to stick with Ronaldo. Portugal 1, Uruguay 2, Korea 3, and Ghana 4.
That was
Sorry,
hot.
Ben. I'm
That was
sorry,
hot.
Ben.
That
I'm
answer.
sorry.
That
I
was
mean,
hot.
everyone. I know everyone in the chat is going. I know they're going to disagree, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I
pissed.
let you down.
I just
I'm-
liked
I'm
the
like-
you know
confidence,
what?
though. I enjoyed that. I
I'm
enjoyed
pissed.
that.
You don't think
Sorry.
Sonny can do magical things? Do you?
He has
believe
before,
in
and
magic?
he has proven that he can. But unfortunately, he's playing the second best player of all time, and one of the deepest squads in the entire World Cup this year in Uruguay. This Uruguay squad is deep, and they are going to make a run this year. Mark my word. They are going to make a run this year in this World Cup.
Yeah, you've been saying that too. I agree. I think that they got a solid squad. I just think Portugal is gonna get the old Ronaldo treatment, and they're not gonna run their ball through him. He's gonna get frustrated, or it could be exactly like what you said. He's gonna hit hat tricks against everybody and just be like, "Fuck you, fuck Piers Morgan." But my thing is, when you are around poo-poo, you tend to have a poo-poo odor. And he was just in a room with Piers Morgan for an extended period of time. And that's one of the worst odors you can have on yourself. I don't care how far that plane's going to fly to Qatar. You ain't washing yourself off in that amount of time. So that Piers Morgan smell has really had time to sink
gonna be
into
the
his
difference.
pores. Yeah. And that's just what happens. You are a product of the company you keep. So
I feel like
there-
this would only add motivation to Ronaldo, to be honest, and that's what makes him even more dangerous.
But I don't want to believe that, Michael. I'm refusing to
I know,
believe that.
I know.
I'm choosing to find
I've just-
anything
I have-
that would make him
Not
at a
that,
disadvantage.
not that I have learned my lesson, because honestly, I have predicted Ronaldo to like do these. Like I will never forget when he scored the hat trick against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League second leg, because before that I was drunk as hell in a bar in college, and I literally looked my friend in the eye and I said, "Ronaldo is scoring a hat trick today, and they are advancing in the Champions League." And what
Yeah.
did he do? He did it. Like it just happens. It's like it's football heritage.
He's crying.
As
That's
Jose
all it is.
Mourinho says, it's football heritage. Ronaldo. You're muted, Jacob.
Jack, you said your order was the same as Michael's, right?
What
No, I am actually going to go. Here's my thing with Korea. I'm kind of like Japan. Like, I think Korea are kind of like a secret sort of Argentina vibe, where like they put a lot of sort of hype on this tournament, and they have a lot of sort of pride going into this. It's sort of a free hit, I think, for them too, Korea as well as Japan. So I just feel like they're going to go into it with a lot of confidence. They're going to be kind of demanding respect, maybe from the other teams. They're going to be hard to play against. Maybe they might not be as talented as other squads, but they'll be making up for it by being hard to play against. So I actually have a sneaky feeling, kind of like I said with Japan, getting that second berth. I think Korea will get the second berth. So who's going to finish first? It's going to be between Uruguay and Portugal for me. I am kind of on Mike's boat here, where Portugal, like that, they have poor coaching. They do not have a great coach, but that team
Team is so talented and it's so
stupid.
deep,
It's
and
so
they have
stupid.
the second
It's
best
so
player of all
stupid.
time, Jack.
Joao Cancelo, I also think, is the best fullback, in my opinion, really just in the world in
For sure.
general.
He can
So
play on either side.
He can play anywhere he wants, to be honest. For in my books, like he can play up top for all I care. The dude is just ridiculous. So I don't know, like Bernardo Silva as well. Like no, it's a stupid team. It's a stupid team. So
Bruno
if
Fernandes always
unless
plays well
unless
for
there's
for
soap opera,
Portugal.
unless it's a soap opera thing that goes on down there, and like the vibes aren't good, like Portugal are finishing top. Uruguay, I could see them finishing second, but I just feel like Korea are like Japan. I'm getting sort of upset vibes from them. I'm getting
Yeah.
dark horse vibes from them. I'm getting sleeper vibes from them. So I'm gonna say Korea finished second, but let's be honest, Federico Valverde and Bentancur, that's all you need to say. I mean, those dudes are basically the best midfielders in
And
the world right
Suarez
now.
up top, bro.
Oh,
Suarez
Luis.
up top.
Always. I mean, one of the best celebrations of all time as well. What is it? The mwah, mwah, mwah. Oh, one of the best celebrations of all time. But
I like the biting.
Yeah.
and Luis is one of the greatest strikers I've ever seen in my lifetime. But no, I'm gonna just for vibes. Like I want Uruguay to finish second, but just for vibes, just the vibes that they're giving me, it's Korea. I think they're gonna finish second.
Real quick, Shamu, big up yourself. Shamu says, how can people just ignore stuff in Qatar and watch this World Cup like it's not corrupt or anything? So many people died. I've watched I've been getting as much information about this subject as I can. So rather than talk about it and sound stupid, like I don't know what, I'm just gathering information. And I think on this pod, we wanted to kind of keep it more light. Obviously, I think all of us on this panel here would not be okay with some of the humanity issues that were going on there. But I've also seen some stuff that there was like some kind of progress change that like didn't really change things, but tried to change things. And change takes a long time. It was corrupt how they got the bid in the first place. And then it's also bullshit that they moved it from the summer to the winter just because of it. So I do understand your sentiments. And yes, poo-poo. That is Pierce Morgan. He is poo-poo. But yeah, I don't like it happening in Qatar. I don't think any of us agree with a lot of this stuff. It is corrupt. The laws are what they are. And I don't want to try and act like I know more about the situation than I don't. So again, I'm just in a position where I'm just trying to gather information so I can make the best educated opinion about it as I can. But at this juncture, I'm just trying to be excited about my USA, my sunny Korea, and then my other dark horses that I have selected throughout these. But we did talk about a little bit earlier in the stream. I hope you were able to go back and watch that. But definitely share some of those sentiments with you.
Jayco, I'm sorry, man.
I pulled that up.
He says that he hopes I'm wrong. Ruben Dias, Pepe in the back, Cancelo, best fullback in the world.
Oh wait, they brought Pepe on the plane?
Yeah, Pepe.
Oh,
He's playing. He's playing in the World Cup.
Also one of my favorite players.
The depth, Joe Felix up top.
Pepe's just there for the vibes.
They have so many weapons, man. So many weapons. Rafael Leao, one of the best wingers and slash attackers in the world right now.
No,
one of the most informed players in Serie A.
It's actually really sad that Sergio Ramos wasn't brought on the plane for Spain because I would have loved to have seen Sergio Ramos and Pepe just do a nice, sort of dap, together, because that would have been great. Like those two together were like Voldemort and like Satan, in the back line. They were brilliant. I miss those guys, Pepe and Sergio Ramos. It would have been nice to see them, meet up in Qatar, have a nice few non-alcoholic beverages, together.
But Jayco, I part of me hopes I'm wrong too, because obviously I want Sonny to do well in this World Cup. So hopefully.
No disrespect on Pepe, Wolves, Finland. I won't allow it. No disrespect, man's legend.
So I think this might be the last thing that to talk about real quick. Who do we think's? There's two things actually, Michael, that I think we need to talk about.
Yep.
Who we think is going to get the Golden Boot. I'm going to also throw in what Spurs player goes the farthest.
Yep, I want to talk about that also.
And then I also want to talk about a surprise team and a largely disappointing team. And I'll just answer that last one real quick. Largely disappointing is going to be England. They're not going to make it out of the group. Everyone's talking about how they're going to win the whole damn thing, but guess what? It's not coming home. Only thing coming home is yourself late at night, drunk and pissed because you lost. That's what's coming home. So that's going to answer that last question for me. Who do y'all have as your biggest disappointment?
Biggest disappointment. So like I said, France I think is on upset watch. Tentatively, I would say.
If they had a tougher group, for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing though. That's the thing is like the strength of group is just not great, and plus the talent is there. I would say France or this is tough, man. This is tough. France or Belgium. I think Belgium also kind of has the potential.
I'm with that.
I'll go Belgium. What about you, Jack?
I'm kind of with that.
Even though it contradicts my group prediction, but like what I'm saying is like most likely Belgium.
No, I can't disagree with that. In fact, I think those are the logical choices. You could throw in Uruguay or Portugal if you
or England.
If you did believe, and England, of course. But if you really did believe in Korea, like I said, I think Uruguay and Portugal are really good teams. But something about this Korea team makes me think that they will qualify for the next rounds. And so, if that is the case, then that means Uruguay or Portugal would drop out, right? So that would be a big loss too.
Either of those teams not making it would be that would definitely be a huge disappointment.
Ryman's son says, with peace and love, the biggest disappointment will be USA. I don't think so. We qualified. That would have been disappointing if we didn't qualify. If we don't make it out of this group, I will be disappointed personally. But I will also see it as a success if we made it out of the group. So that being said, if we fail to make it out this group, it's not the end all be all because this isn't USA's World Cup to win. 2026 is the World Cup in which it will come home to America, and you will have to fear no longer because Ricardo Pepi will be selected in that squad, and he will be the Golden Boot in 2026 as USA lifts the trophy in their home country, probably in LA. I'm assuming it's probably where they're going to put the final.
Warm up.
Yeah, this is just a warm up.
So you're saying England, Jacob, for most disappointing?
England for sure.
England. All right. What about Golden Boot?
Golden Boot.
I have Neymar actually as a secret sleeper because I just think that Brazilian team is going to do quite well this tournament. I'd be quite shocked if they didn't do well. I think Neymar, we know, is going to be playing mostly every minute in every game if possible. He's going to be either getting all the assists or he's going to be getting all the goals. That's how I see it. So Neymar will be involved in all those goals for Brazil if they score a lot of them.
All right, Jacob, Golden Boot.
My Golden Boot. Heung Daddy.
Okay.
I think he's gonna score the most goals. I think he's gonna have hat tricks.
He's gonna make it that far to.
He's gonna make it out the group, and he's gonna at least play 2 more games after that. I'm calling.
And he's winning a knockout game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If not, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I kind of want to say, like, maybe Lisandro Martinez from Argentina. He might get a lot of goals just because he's got the world's best player feeding him balls. But I just, I see all these teams, and I don't think, except for Serbia, like that striker's gonna fuck shit up. And I know I should throw Kane in there, but they're just not making out the group. So he's gonna score a bunch of goals, but he's not gonna make it out the group. So that's why I still think I'm gonna say Sonny, Heung-min Daddy, Golden Boot. Keep the Golden Boot at Tottenham Hotspur. That's what I say.
Well, I'm going to keep the Golden Boot in Brazil with Jack, but I am going to go with Richarlison. Actually, yep. And some people will be surprised, but this dude has been scoring a lot for Brazil recently. Going into this World Cup, he's in pretty good form internationally. I know he's coming off of an injury, but look, this guy is about as passionate as you can be, especially for Brazil. You already mentioned it, Jack. They're going to be scoring a lot of goals this World Cup. I think they're going to have one of the deepest runs out of the big teams. They have just as much of a potential to win the final as an Argentina or a France or a Portugal. Like Brazil is one of the top 4 teams, if not the most talented and best team going into this tournament.
Neymar's
this year.
Last World Cup, I think. Yeah.
Neymar, Richarlison, Rafinha, Vinicius Jr., all these players in the attack are going to benefit. I just think Richarlison's going to be the one to put it into the back of the net at the end of the day for the majority of these. So I'm going Richarlison. All right.
That's vibes.
Let's turn it around now, and we'll go to which Spurs player is going to make the deepest run in the World Cup.
Bentancur.
Jacob, you go first. You're going Bentancur?
No, I mean, I want to. I'm just doing it for Ben Coffman. He said, give us a Bentancur.
Oh, Bentancur.
I think he will have a nice little shout for the going the furthest. I also think Sonny has a nice little shout for going the furthest. I think Richarlison has a nice little shout for going the furthest. I'd even argue Perisic has a nice little argument for going the furthest. But I still think this is Argentina's cup, and that guy Christian Romero will be kissing and smooching that cup, and I'll Photoshop my face right there on the cup. So it's like he's giving me a nice kiss on the cheek. So I think Christian Romero will go the furthest. Now, if he's healthy or not, that's not the question. I think he'll just go the furthest. That's me. What about you, Jack?
I can't disagree with that. It's Romero. I think he's going the furthest. He'll be playing the most as well. Spot on.
Make it 3. Make it 3. Christian Romero in Argentina. I think they're going to win the World Cup. I think this is Messi's World Cup. I would say the second most likely, like closely behind, would be Richarlison for Brazil, for sure. I think Argentina, Brazil, France, Portugal, all these teams, Germany, they're all going to have really, really good World Cups. Really, really good World Cups. I'm smoking on that Argentina pack because they're going to be smoking everyone in the World Cup this year.
Come on, yeah.
And I also think Portugal is going to make a deep run. I just think Ronaldo's going to shit on everyone. If I'm being honest. He's mad. He's angry.
So is
Never get
Sonny.
Ronaldo angry.
Mask of Sonny. You don't want
That's
Mask
true.
of Sonny.
We have
Come
never
on
seen
now,
a mask
come on.
Sunny, so we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting close to the end of the podcast, the end of the live stream. We have, as always, though, this one segment, one final thought to end the stream. Jack, lead us off. It could be Spurs related, it could be World Cup related, or unrelated. What is your one final thought, my friend?
I'll make it Spurs related. We went into this sort of break not feeling great, let's be honest. We went into this squad threadbare.
Felt
I
better.
actually think there's a lot to be optimistic about with Spurs at the end of this World Cup. In fact, I don't really know how it could have gotten much worse for Spurs come towards this break. We pretty much had every player imaginable injured. We were not carrying a lot of good form. Moon Boots or Eric Dyer was pretty much just carrying the worst possible form he could go into it. I actually think we were in the worst possible place we could have been, really, before that World Cup break. We were really at a tough stage, and I think it's only going to get better from here because Conte gets a little bit of a break, gets to drink a few Morettis, gets to have a few Negronis, kind of chill out a bit, gets to sort of kind of feel things out, maybe look at some of the defeats, maybe tweak things out a bit, but also just sort of kind of get to work with some players like Bissouma, gets to work with Kulusevski, maybe a Jet Spence. Just feel like everybody, let's stick behind the Spurs, stick behind the boys, because I actually think there are a lot of things to be happy about, or a lot of things to be optimistic about, should I say, come around the end of this World Cup Spurs-wise. And that's only because we entered this World Cup break where it was the worst possible position I think we could find ourselves in. Like, it was not nice. It was not a good place to be in where we found ourselves with this squad. And I actually see it being a whole lot better come the return.
Well, I love your final thought because I agree and I share those sentiments, Jack. David Clark says Romero's coming home. He's not match fit. Is he coming home? I think he's just not fit to play in that friendly that they had. And
That'd
he
be
might
crazy
not even,
if that's the case.
he might not even be fit to play in their first group stage match.
That'd be crazy.
Which kind of puts that whole argument that is he holding out for the World Cup argument to bed, which was nice. So
yeah, that would be nice.
Ed, I hope you make that $250,000, buddy. Come on, make that $250,000. Join the Lovers Lane. Cost you $1. Francis, great show. Thank you so much. David Clark, show my last 16 matchups. I'll pull that up in just 1 second. And all coming back flying for Spurs. Let's go. David Clark, I have it starred. Your last 16 is Holland versus Wales, Argentina versus Denmark, France versus Mexico, England versus Senegal, Germany versus Croatia, Brazil versus South Korea, Belgium versus Spain, and Portugal versus Serbia.
Oh, Portugal versus Serbia, the rematch as well. That is going to be good.
That would be sick.
Serbia beat them, I think, on 2 occasions, if I'm not mistaken. And then Germany, Croatia. I mean, basically the most technically gifted players on the planet, all on the pitch at the same time. That would be cool.
Adrian Schrock, I don't know if you're still with us, but I started this from a while back. It says, guys, how far do you think the Yankee Doodle Poodle will progress? I think we make it out the group, and that's about as far as we go.
Yeah,
but you know what?
too.
For the sake of fandom and craziness, we're winning it all. We're winning it all. USA, we're winning it all. That's
We're
all
winning it all.
No, like we said, it's the warm-up, boys. It's the warm-up for 2026.
Yeah, so we'll get to the final, and we'll lose the final to Mexico. How about that?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
It'll be fun. And then Ben Kaufman, I started this, says Golden Boot, Harry goddamn Kane.
Good
So
man.
that's a good shout. If they make it out of the group, that is. So that's a lot of fun. My final thought, Michael, is first of all, I'm just so thankful. We hit 400. We won at 400. We got 403. And I mean, that's just speaks to the beauty of this
404
community.
now. 404.
404 now.
Come on.
on.
That. Two fours. That's two fours for the price of one.
We were 7 subscribers away at the start of the show, and now we're 4 subscribers over. So that's 11. 11 new subscribers today, man. Thank you guys so much.
Bro, and that's actually crazy. So this is part of my final thought. Mike, I was texting Mike last night about the show, and I was like, hey, bro, we've been getting some subs lately, and we're now 11 away from hitting 400. And he was like, we're hitting that during the show, calling it. And then this morning I woke up, and we were 7 away from 400. So it was a little bit of a fun watch, and I'm just thankful to the 404 of y'all that have subscribed. I'm thankful for the 34 of y'all that have hit the like on this video. There's 40 of y'all have voted, so I like to do my math, and I've deducted it. There's 6 hating-ass motherfuckers out there. You 6 hating-ass motherfuckers love to vote. You like participating. You probably love listening to us, and you don't want to like the video. To me, that's strange. And you know what? That's okay, because people can be strange. You could be a hating-ass motherfucker your whole life. But you know what? I appreciate you at least taking part in the poll. Oh, we got 41 votes now. So that means 7 hating-ass motherfuckers out there, by my math, have not liked the video. So please, if you're watching this live, you're watching this on demand, smash that like, smash that subscribe. Goes far for the channel. Helps get our content out there. The more you hit that like. Oh, we got 37 likes. Okay, so let's see. My math says there's 4 hating ass motherfuckers. We've narrowed it down. So those other few that you're not a hater, you just actually were so enthralled with the show you forgot to hit the thumbs up. Big up yourself. My final thought is I appreciate every single one of you. Whether you participated in this chat, whether your name has been scrolling on the bottom down below, or whether you're like Jack, your name's down below and you're on the show. Oh, I appreciate you, Jack. So thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone in the comments, for being here. That's my final thought. And I'm thankful for 400. I'll have to come up with a better story to share on those late night streams, but I'll come up with something for you.
Yeah.
My one final thought is thank you guys so much for 400 subscribers. It's a huge milestone for us on the way to now 500. So thank you guys, whether you have joined us from the start or have just joined recently. Regardless, thank you guys so much for all the support. It really does mean a lot to the both of us. So thank you guys for that. My other final thought is, Jacob, you reminded me of a great memory where I whooped your ass in FIFA on Twitch live in front of all of our coworkers at FC Dallas. So I'm going to leave that as my final thought as well, my friend. Yeah.
Forever there for people to see.
Forever etched in Twitch.
What
and
pissed
FC
me
Dallas
off
history.
the most about this was the first half we were playing each other, and we picked the same team, so it's literally just down to skill and tactics at this point.
No, you're
okay.
No.
We picked the same exact teams. We had the same lineup. And so the first half goes, and I'm pretty sure it was a close game. We were like even at halftime. So I'm feeling good. I'm like, okay, I got a chance as long as I could get it to the end. I got a chance to win this thing. And then Michael says some back-ass comment like, okay, now I'm really going to play. And then he just starts shitting all over me. And that fucking really pissed me off. Luckily, it was like right when COVID happened in quarantine, because I didn't have to see him or anyone in the office. Because if I did, I probably would have punched something.
No, he rattled you.
No, he fucked me up. I ain't played him since. No, we play together, or you can play your own game. How about that?
Yep. So that's my final thought.
You bastard.
Regardless, though, thank you guys so much for listening to another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast,
USA,
live on our very own YouTube channel. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Go over on Spotify, do the same, like the video, the video and audio, and also follow us on Spotify there or wherever you may tune into your podcasting needs. But until then, thank you guys so much for listening. For Michael, for Jacob, want to also thank Jack for joining us today from Flat Cap and Irish Hotspur. Jack, when will you next be live on either of those channels? Go ahead and plug anything that you wish or please.
World Cup predictions video definitely coming out tomorrow on the Flat Cap.
There it is.
For that, 43 different itch profiles to take a look at. Everybody stay tuned. Irish Hotspur, Dave should be out with a short sometime this weekend, but also something coming out Irish Hotspur wise from David or myself for sure. We always usually don't leave it too long, so something will come out. But yeah. Really appreciate it, boys. Always good to come on here and get some
Thank you. Therapy. And thank you for bringing some of that red, white, and blue to the channel. So
good to be breathing that American air with you guys.
So next week is going to be special because it is actually match day for the United States and England group stage game for Group B. So we will actually be going live immediately after the game, post-match live reaction. That game is at noon. So it should end around 2 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern Time, which would be what, like 9 p.m. 9 p.m.
About 9, yeah, about
UK
9
time.
UK.
So we'll literally just go live right after the match. We'll have live updates. If anything changes, we'll let you guys know on Twitter and Instagram as well. Follow us on there. But until next week, stay safe. Enjoy the World Cup. It is officially here this weekend. And we'll see you guys next week. Up the lads. And Jacob.
Come on, you Spurs in the World Cup.
Come on, Spurs.
of America.